are here at the Sabarmati riverfront in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, preparing to go to the polls tomorrow. We'll have lots on our plate today. But first, as always, it's time for the 9 headlines at 9 tonight. A big fall in the manufacturing sector drags down India's GDP growth in July to September to 6.3% from 13.9% in the previous quarter. Skyrocketing interest rates also bring down the pace of growth. Political blockbuster in Gujarat to open tomorrow as the state goes to the polls in phase 1. Political heavyweights campaign for phase 2 in what could be a battle between the BJP and the Congress, with the AAP as the X factor. Bilkis Banu moves the Supreme Court against the remission of sentence and the release of convicts in the 2002 gang rape case. The 11 men were sentenced to life imprisonment for gang raping her and murdering her family members. With a massive protest at his doorstep, Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann campaigns in Gujarat. Labour and trade unions protest outside Mann's residence in Sangrur. Protesters lathi charged as they clash with cops. India today speaks to Israeli filmmaker Nawad Lipid, who called the Kashmir files a vulgar propaganda. Lipid now says he was questioning the movie's content, not trivializing the plight of pundits. ED's big charge against Delhi Deputy Chief Minister in the liquor excise probe. Manish Sisodia and aides accused of destroying cell phones, devices worth 1.38 crores that were used in the scam. Sisodia aide Amit Arora sent to 7-day ED custody. Liger in the Enforcement Directorate net. Case under PMLA against South superstar Vijay, who was questioned in a probe into the film's alleged illegal payments and fund sourcing. VVIP political drama in Telangana. Jagan Mohan Reddy's sister Sharmila arrested, let off on bail after staging protest against KCR. Sharmila will be among our newsmakers tonight as she says she will continue her Padiyatra. And China's Guangzhou city relaxes COVID rules in several districts after the unprecedented civilian protest against a stringent zero COVID policy. But our top story and our top focus is here in Gujarat, where the state goes to the elections tomorrow, and there is the phase 1 with 89 constituencies across Saurashtra and South Gujarat that go to the polls on Thursday. This, remember, is a phase where the Congress had done well in Saurashtra in 2017, but the equations have changed. The Aam Aadmi Party is an X factor that could cut into the opposition vote share. The BJP hoping for a 7th win here in Gujarat. All the big guns of the BJP, including Home Minister Amit Shah, have stormed Gujarat's battleground today ahead of phase 2. Shah downplayed AAP's challenge in the Gujarat elections and taunted the Congress, claiming it was nowhere near Prime Minister Modi or the BJP. Meanwhile, Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel and BJP Chief JP Nadda held rallies in Ahmedabad. Patel exuding confidence of winning another term. Nadda claiming the BJP will break all records. A day before the first phase of polling, the Congress has knocked the Election Commission's doors. The party alleges blatant attempt to influence voting pattern by the BJP. And on the eve of the phase 1 polling, Bilkis Banu, who was raped during the 2002 riots, her family members murdered, challenged the Supreme Court against the early release of 11 of the people convicted of gang raping her and killing her family in those 2002 Gujarat riots. Now, one of the constituencies that will be looked at most closely in this Gujarat election is Vadgam in North Gujarat, about 140 kilometers away from Ahmedabad. There, the Congress's Dalit face, next generation leader and youth activist Jignesh Mevani is contesting and virtually challenging the Modi government on their home turf. Remember, Mevani won in 2017 as an independent, but he could be facing a tougher fight this time. Also remember, Mevani is among the few Gujarat politicians who's actually raising the issue of Bilkis Banu. Why is Jignesh Mevani a leader to be watched in these Gujarat elections? I caught up with him earlier today in Vadgam. Listen in to one of our newsmakers tonight. I am with Jignesh Mevani here in Vadgam as he does these street corner meetings. Jignesh bhai, क्या आप मानते हैं? Do you accept that this election is more difficult than 2017 for you? पूरी BJP wants Jignesh to be defeated.
And that is a great credit that can be attributed to my ideological commitment. I am not moving an inch from where I was in 2017 and prior to that. I want this country to ensure social justice for tribals and Dalits and secularism for everyone. And therefore BJP is targeting me. But I am pretty relaxed.
You're relaxed?
Cool. I am composed. And all these people, just see their faces, the kind of love and affection they have for me. So no matter Modi tries hard, Vadgam will win.
आप कह रहे हैं वडगाम जीतेगा?
बिल्कुल.
क्योंकि एक तरफ मोदी जी की, जैसे मैंने कहा, पूरी सेना लगी हुई है यहाँ और इस बार AIMIM ने कैंडिडेट रखा है, आम आदमी पार्टी ने भी कैंडिडेट रखा है, तो ऑपोजिशन वोट कैन गेट स्प्लिट ऑल्सो. सो द जनरल फीलिंग इज जिग्नेश मेवानी कुड फाइंड इट मोर डिफिकल्ट दिस टाइम देन 2017.
मैं बहुत रिलैक्स्ड हूँ. इतना मोहब्बत, इतना प्यार, इतना सपोर्ट, मेरी खुद की उम्मीदों से ज्यादा सपोर्ट है. ईमानदारी के साथ कह रहा हूँ.
Why? What has happened? What is the difference between 2017 and 22?
क्योंकि हम लोगों ने जो गुजरात का सबसे बड़ा ऑक्सीजन प्लांट वडगाम में बनाया, तब जब लोग ऑक्सीजन के एक बूंद के लिए तरस रहे थे, और मेरे सामने जो कैंडिडेट्स है वो तमाम लोग गायब थे जब लोग ऑक्सीजन के लिए तरस रहे थे. यहाँ मुक्तेश्वर डैम और कर्मावत तालाब है, 190 करोड़ का प्रोजेक्ट विपक्ष में होने के बावजूद सरकार से लड़के मंजूर करवाया है, ताकि यहाँ जो पानी 1200 फुट गया है उसका लाभ यहाँ की फसल को मिले. 10 से 12 हजार लोगों को मनरेगा में काम मिला. अभी इन बहनों के साथ में डांस करके आया हूँ, नाच के.
अच्छा, आप डांस करके आए?
हाँ.
जिग्नेश भाई अच्छा डांस करते हैं क्या? अच्छा.
तो कहने का मतलब ये लोगों का प्यार और मोहब्बत है, लेकिन मेरे काम के साथ साथ बहुत ईमानदारी के साथ बोलता हूँ. आज 80% गुजरात 3000 रुपए का तेल का डिब्बा और 1100 रुपए का गैस का सिलेंडर और 100 रुपए का पेट्रोल अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकता. ये एक साइलेंट वेव है इस बार, साइलेंट वोटर का वेव है इस बार.
आप कह रहे
पूरा कांग्रेस की ओर स्विंग होगा.
आप कह रहे साइलेंट वोटर है जो कांग्रेस की तरफ स्विंग होगा, लेकिन बीजेपी कह रही है कि हिंदुत्व की लहर है, मोदी जी की लहर है. मोदी जी यही उत्तर गुजरात से आते हैं, सन ऑफ द सॉइल.
भाई मोदी जी की लहर या मेवानी की लहर है, भाजपा की लहर या कि कांग्रेस की लहर है, देख लीजिए.
नहीं, ये यहाँ है. पूरे गुजरात की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ. जितने ओपिनियन पोल आ रहे हैं सब कह रहे हैं बीजेपी विल गेट 120 to 130 सीट्स, कांग्रेस 40 to 50
पार करेगी. कांग्रेस और 27 साल की भाजपा की तानाशाही और घमंड दोनों इस बार चकनाचूर हो गए. वी विल फॉर्म द गवर्नमेंट, वी आर प्रेडिक्ट श्योर.
You know, I was told that for resources you are actually crowdsourcing this time because you did not have enough resources. क्या ये एक बड़ा डिसएडवांटेज है? You do not have the resources to match the BJP.
वो एक सही बात है, लेकिन इस मुल्क में आज भी जनता ये तो समझती है आपकी आंखों में देखकर कि भले इंसान के पास पैसा नहीं है, लेकिन लड़ने का जज्बा है. जिग्नेश हमारे बीच में, हमारे खेत में, हमारी खाट पे बैठकर खाना खाएगा, ये उनको मेरे ऊपर भरोसा है. आसाम की जेल की पुलिस भी मुझे डरा नहीं पाए, या राज्यसभा के चुनाव के पैसों के बंडल भी मुझे हिला नहीं पाए. ये मेरा वडगाम जानता है.
ये दलित मुस्लिम पॉलिटिक्स जो है, यहाँ दलित है, मुस्लिम, ओबीसी लार्ज नंबर्स में है.
यहाँ तो ऐसा कुछ है नहीं.
नहीं, क्या आप मानते हो कि ये एक तरफ हिंदुत्व की पॉलिटिक्स, दूसरी तरफ दलित मुस्लिम पॉलिटिक्स?
लेकिन यहाँ दलित मुस्लिम एक भी नहीं है. यहाँ तो केवल भारतवासी है. यहाँ केवल भारतीय नागरिक है. और सबको पता है कि जब कर्मावत के तालाब में नर्मदा का पानी आएगा तो उसका बेनिफिट सबको मिलने वाला है. जब ऑक्सीजन का प्लांट जिग्नेश भाई ने बनाया और जो 254 लोगों को लाभ मिला वो तो सभी समुदायों से।
नहीं, ये तो मोदी जी भी कहते हैं ना कि जब अच्छे रास्ते बने या बिजली आई तब वो सबके लिए मिली, ना हिंदू ना मुसलमान, सबको मिली।
वो तो इसी बनासकांठा में हम ये भी कह रहे थे कि मित्रों हैंडपंप चलाओ, खनिज तेल निकलेगा। आज पूरे मुल्क का तेल निकाल दिया।
बिल्किस बानो का जो मामला उठा था उसमें भी ये उठा था कि कहीं ना कहीं जिस तरह की राजनीति हो रही है, कांग्रेस उठा रही है, लेकिन फिर भी बिल्किस बानो को क्या वाकई न्याय मिलेगा, ये सब मुद्दे जो हैं ये दूर हट गए हैं। ये चुनाव जो हो रहा है वो एक तरह से नेशनल मुद्दों पर हो रहा है। बीजेपी इज टॉकिंग ऑफ यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड, सेइंग कांग्रेस इज सॉफ्ट ऑन टेरर। आप अगर कांग्रेस आई तो एक बार फिर कर्फ्यू हो गए। बिल्किस बानो इज नॉट एन इशू, दीज अदर।
हमारे लिए किशन भरवाड़ की हत्या हुई वो भी मुद्दा है। मोरबी में 150 से ज्यादा लोगों की जाने गई वो भी मुद्दा है। दोबारा ऊना के पीड़ितों को जान से मारने की धमकी मिली वो भी मुद्दा है। और बिल्किस मेरे लिए बिल्किस नहीं है, वो मेरे लिए बॉबी भी है और बबीता भी है। और मैं 101 पब्लिक मीटिंग पे बिल्किस के मुद्दे पर बोला हूं और हिंदी बहनों और माताओं की आंख में से आंसू मैंने देखे।
पर इससे हिंदू मुस्लिम डिवाइड नहीं होगा, क्योंकि लोग कह रहे हैं 2002 भूल जाओ।
मैं समझता हूं आपको क्यों नहीं होगा। इससे हिंदू मुस्लिम दोनों की एकता बनेगी, क्योंकि समझदार हिंदू समझदार मुस्लिम दोनों ऐसा गुजरात, ऐसा भारत नहीं चाहते जहां बेटियों के बलात्कारियों को छोड़कर मिठाई खिलाई जाए।
नहीं, मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ 27 साल से जिग्नेश भाई, 27 इयर्स बीजेपी हैज बीन इन पावर। कुछ तो होगा ना बीजेपी ने किया होगा कि 27 साल से एक ही पार्टी की सरकार हो रही है।
बिल्कुल, समाज को उन्होंने निर्विवाद तौर पे हिंदू और मुसलमान में डिवाइड किया और उसी का उनको डिविडेंड इतने सालों के दौरान मिला है। लेकिन इस बार जनता समझ चुकी है, दलित हो या पटेल, हिंदू हो मुस्लिम, इतना तो पता है कि तेल का डिब्बा 3000 का अब 2000 में नहीं मिलेगा। मोदी जी को लाए, भाजपा को जिताए तो 3000 का डिब्बा 5000 में पड़ने वाला है। जनता ये समझ चुका है।
जिग्नेश भाई, 2017 में यू आर सीन एज यंग टर्क। आपके साथ अल्पेश ठाकुर, अभी भी यंग है आप, हाँ मुझसे तो यंग है। अल्पेश ठाकुर थे आपके साथ, वो बीजेपी में चले गए। हार्दिक पटेल आपके साथ आंदोलन में थे, पटेल आंदोलन में, वो चले गए बीजेपी में। आप अकेले रह गए, बाकी जो युवा नेता है सब बीजेपी चले गए। सब देख रहे हैं हवा किस तरफ चल रही है।
मैं अपने ईमान पर कायम हूँ। मैं इस जीवन काल में पृथ्वी का गोला उल्टा होना है तो हो जाए, लेकिन जीवन में कभी मोदी और भाजपा से समाधान नहीं करूंगा।
कभी नहीं
करूंगा, नहीं ही करूंगा। आई एम वेरी क्लियर एंड सॉर्टेड इन माई हेड। और आसाम, उड़ीसा, अरुणाचल प्रदेश, उससे भी आगे म्यांमार की जेल में भी डाले, लेकिन मैं अपनी जगह पे कायम हूँ। जिसको जाना था वो गए और मेरे साथ एनएसयू है, यूथ कांग्रेस है, सेवा दल है, महिला कांग्रेस है। इतनी जनता का मोहब्बत है।
नहीं, आप कांग्रेस ही बन गए, लेकिन कई कांग्रेसी कांग्रेस को छोड़कर बीजेपी में भी चले गए ना। कई लोगों से हम बात करते हैं कि हम कांग्रेस को वोट देंगे तो कांग्रेस का एमएलए कल बीजेपी में चला जाएगा।
हाँ, तो जिनको जाना था वो चले गए, जिनको टिकना था वो टिके हैं। और आज भी सीबीआई, इनकम टैक्स, ईडी, पुलिस, क्राइम ब्रांच, आईबी, पैसों की लालच, इन सब के बावजूद आज भी कांग्रेस के 60 विधायक टिके हुए हैं। ये भी एक सच्चाई है।
तो आखिर में बताइए जिग्नेश भाई, अगर किसी तरह से इस चुनाव में कांग्रेस की सरकार नहीं बनती, एक बार फिर बीजेपी की सरकार बनती है, आपकी ये लड़ाई जारी रहेगी या धीरे धीरे आपको भी मानना पड़ेगा कि गुजरात जो है वो बीजेपी का गढ़ है?
बिल्कुल ही नहीं। ये मुल्क रविदास और नानक का है, कबीर और गौतम बुद्ध का है, ज्ञानदेव, नामदेव, तुकाराम और सूफी संतों का मूल। टेम्पररी बेसिस के डिवाइड के चलते भारत भाजपा में नहीं होगा। एससी, एसटी, ओबीसी, माइनॉरिटी और जनरल सबको साथ में लेने वाला पंजा और कांग्रेस ही चलेगा। वही भारत की पहचान है।
अच्छा, आप अब बार बार आप कांग्रेस का जिक्र कर रहे हैं। मैं इसलिए पूछ रहा हूँ क्योंकि 2017 में आप इंडिपेंडेंट लड़े थे। तो इंडिपेंडेंट लड़ना एक बात होती है, अब कांग्रेस में आकर लड़ना अलग बात हो सकती है। इज देयर अ बिग डिफरेंस? जिग्नेश मेवानी कैसे बदल गए हैं पिछले 5 सालों में? क्या बदलाव आया है? थोड़े सफेद बाल में देख रहा हूँ।
उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं हुआ। न पेट्रोल पंप किए, न फैक्ट्री लगाई, न गैस की एजेंसी ली, न माइनिंग का कोई ठेका लिया, न कोई पैसा बनाया, पूरा वडगाम जानता है। 4-4.5 साल इसी वडगाम में ट्रेन और एसटी और दोस्तों की गाड़ियों में आता था। ये मेरा ईमान है।
कोई एसयूवी नहीं ली?
कुछ नहीं, दोस्तों की गाड़ियों में घूम रहा हूँ और ये रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ, अरे भाई गैस वाला गाड़ी भेजना।
अच्छा,
पेट्रोल हमको भी महंगा पड़ रहा है।
अच्छा तो पेट्रोल, अच्छा तो आप गैस वाली गाड़ी चाहते हैं। और कोई बदलाव नहीं हुआ जिग्नेश मेवानी में?
हाँ, थोड़ा मैच्योर हुआ हूँ।
हाँ,
अब पता चला है कि इलेक्टोरल पॉलिटिक्स
हाँ,
और जन आंदोलन दोनों की राजनीति में बैलेंस कैसे करना। इसी गांव में 50 लोगों को मनरेगा का काम दिलवा दूं, लेकिन इस साहब के टच में नहीं हो तो नहीं चलेगा, तो इनके संपर्क में भी रहना है और मनरेगा का काम भी दिलवाना है। ये जरूर सीखा हूँ।
तो आप धीरे धीरे पॉलिटिशियन बन गए हैं। एक्टिविस्ट से पॉलिटिशियन बन गए। 5 साल पहले आप एक्टिविस्ट थे। एक्टिविस्ट पॉलिटिशियन है।
सिंपल बात है सर, सरकार बने या न बने, हर परिस्थिति में इस मुल्क में जहाँ पर भी अत्याचार है, अन्याय है, शोषण है, उसके खिलाफ लड़ना है। तो गुजरात में 120 का आंकड़ा पार करेंगे तब भी यूपी में जाके लड़ेंगे। बुलडोजर लोगों के घर तक आ गए, ये थोड़ी ना चलेगा। किसी के बाप का मुल्क थोड़ी है।
मैं इसलिए पूछ रहा हूं क्योंकि आपकी पॉपुलैरिटी ऊना के बाद बन गई, क्योंकि तब आपने दलितों का मुद्दा जो उठाया था उसके बाद आपका नाम बन गया। तब आपको एक्टिविस्ट की तरह देखा जा रहा था। 5 साल बाद आपको नेता बनकर मैं देख रहा हूँ।
नहीं, ये चुनाव है तो थोड़ा गमछा डालना पड़ता है। अभी 5 दिन के बाद टी शर्ट पहन के घूमूंगे यहीं पर।
टी शर्ट पहन के घूमोगे? जिग्नेश मेवानी, I wish you all the very best.
Thank you, sir.
And we will see कि आप ये जो चैलेंज आपको एक तरह से मोदी जी को आज आपने यहाँ बैठकर चैलेंज दिया है।
आपके माध्यम से चैलेंज अभी 3 तारीख की शाम के 5 बजे तक का वक्त है। 3 तारीख को सुबह 12 बजे तक आप जनसभा कीजिए, खुद आइए। शाम को 4 बजे में उससे दुगनी ताकत में जनसभा खड़ी करूंगा।
आप मोदी जी को कह रहे हैं वडगाम आइए जनसभा।
मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया को पूरे होशो हवास में वडगाम विधानसभा के चंगवाड़ा गांव से चैलेंज, आप खुद यहाँ जनसभा करिए। उसके 4 घंटे में आपसे कम से कम 1000 लोग ज्यादा हो, ऐसी ताकत खड़ी करके
चलिए जिग्नेश मेवानी, एज आई सेड वी विश ऑल द कैंडिडेट्स द वेरी बेस्ट। देखते हैं आगे आगे क्या होता है।
वक्त आने दी, तुझे बता देगी वासमा। हम अभी से क्या बताए क्या हमारे दिल में।
अरे वाह, अब आप शायर भी बन गए हो। एक्टिविस्ट, पॉलिटिशियन, शायर Jignesh Mevani here in Vadgam. Thank you very much, Jignesh ji. All the very best. Okay, so Jignesh Mevani there talking tough. Now, there are lots of campaigners across Gujarat who've come from different parts of the state. We tracked some of those from the BJP over the last couple of days. Hemanta Biswa Sarma, Ravi Shankar Prasad and others. But there is one who's almost stayed here for this entire month, and that is the Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Singh Mann of the Aam Aadmi Party, doing road shows across Gujarat. This comes at a time though when back home in Punjab there is growing criticism. Where is the Chief Minister? Today there were protests in Sangrur, which is Bhagwant Mann's hometown, where farmers allegedly were protesting because they were allegedly denied their minimum support prices. They were demanding for allowances, greater allowances, and the police was seen lathi charging them. What does Bhagwant Mann have to say about this? Why is the Chief Minister of Punjab missing in action and spending all his time in Gujarat? Ask his critics. Well, my colleague Preeti Chaudhary caught up with Bhagwant Mann on the campaign trail. Listen in.
बार बार चीज बोली जा रही है, पंजाब की मीडिया में भी बोली जा रही है कि जो सीएम है वो पंजाब में है, बाकी सारे एमएलए जो पंजाब के हैं वो गुजरात में है, आप गुजरात में हैं, सभी गुजरात में हैं, पंजाब कौन चला रहा है?
अच्छा, मोदी जी कहाँ हैं? योगी जी कहाँ हैं? शिवराज चौहान कहाँ हैं? असम के मुख्यमंत्री कहाँ हैं? हिमाचल के मुख्यमंत्री, उत्तराखंड के मुख्यमंत्री कहाँ हैं? भाजपा के 450 एमपी कहाँ हैं? दिल्ली में गलियों में। अमित शाह जी कहाँ हैं? तो हमारा हक है, हमारी पार्टी के लिए हम वोट मांग सकते हैं। क्या बात हो गई कि हम पंजाब में अगर जीत गए तो पंजाब में रहना है? तो प्रधानमंत्री जी बताइए, एक दिन में 7 रैलियां, एक दिन में 7 मैं भी करता हूँ, लेकिन वो उसमें आता नहीं है।
और आपके तो एमएलए भी यहाँ घूम रहे हैं, भगवान मान साहब।
तो एमएलए उनके भी घूम रहे हैं, उनके एमएलए भी यहीं पे हैं। हाँ, वो अलग बात है कि कांग्रेस ने मैदान छोड़ दिया, वो नहीं आए। तो उनका मैं कुछ नहीं बोल सकता। कांग्रेस खत्म।
पंजाब कौन चला रहा है अभी? पंजाब
मैं
कौन?
चला रहा हूँ। हाँ?
कब तक है यहाँ पर गुजरात?
लास्ट 2 दिन।
लास्ट 2 दिन पूरा जोर लगा देंगे 2 दिन?
पूरा जोर, अपनी तरफ से मेहनत में कोई कमी नहीं छोड़ेंगे।
बहुत शुक्रिया मैम।
Okay, so hectic campaigning going on across all parties, but the reality on the ground at times is some of the real issues get ignored. A few months ago, images came out in a viral video in a village in Kheda district of 4 men, all Muslims, being flogged, allegedly because they had thrown stones at a Garba procession. They were being flogged by plainclothes policemen even as the crowd cheered. No one knows what's happened to that police inquiry. So how is this issue playing out on the ground? Today's Get Real Gujarat report comes from my colleague Paulomi Saha in Kheda. Listen in.
Amid police watch, an uneasy calm prevails in Undhela. Villagers are reluctant to speak. It's been 2 months since the peace of this sleepy village in central Gujarat's Kheda district was disturbed.
जो जिसके घर से गए ना उसको तो तलाश करो तो आपको वो ऑटोमेटिक सब मालूम हो जाएगा। वो तो राजकारण है, देखो सभी बात में पॉलिटिक्स कोई धर्मांतर की बात नहीं है। हिंदू मुसलमान आज तक कभी लड़ाई नहीं हुई।
In videos that went viral, 4 Muslim men were seen being publicly flogged in the village square by plainclothes policemen. The allegation was some miscreants from the community had pelted stones at a Garba event in the village temple on October 3rd. Over 40 Muslim men from Undhela were arrested. Some of them were granted bail earlier this month under the condition they will not enter Matar Taluka, under which Undhela falls, until 31st March 2023. Arifa's brother-in-law is among those exiled.
और जो 40-45 आदमी हैं उनके घर में ये इसका पप्पा ही है। अब उनके घर में उनका वो अब्बा बूढ़ा है, अब कौन कमा के देगा उनको? उसके दादा बैठे शाकभाजी लेकर, वो सामने बैठते हैं, वो सामने वो ये लड़के लोग उनकी मदद करते हैं। अच्छा, स्कूल जाने से पहले सब लोग 4 बजे से उठ जाते हैं और मदद करके फिर स्कूल जाते हैं।
She blames politics for the communal tensions.
जिन को पकड़ा वो कोई था ही नहीं, ये सब राजकारण है।
Saida, whose son Javed was among those named accused in the case, claims her son wasn't even around when the stone pelting happened.
देखो तो गाड़ी पे मैंने पीना गया था,
वो था नहीं यहाँ पे?
नहीं था, लड़ाई में नहीं थे, उनको भी ले गए, उसको भी ले गए। बोलो अब उसका सर धंधा करने का क्या था? इसके बच्चे छोटे हमारा पूरा।
The Gujarat High Court pulled up the state administration and the police for the public flogging of the Muslim men. But the village still bears the scars. Meghal, who we met as she was buying vegetables, says they were scared when the incident happened, but is certain peace will return.
डर तो रहता है ना, सबको रहता है, क्योंकि सभी के घर में छोटे छोटे बच्चे होते हैं, बुजुर्ग लोग रहते हैं। अब कुछ नहीं लगता है ऐसा, अभी ठीक है, अभी ठीक है।
While there is a thick cloud of apprehension in the air, there is also an imminent desire to go back to how things were.
कोशिश करे तो हो पाएगा, पर कोशिश करने वाला कोई है नहीं उन लोगों की तरफ से। सब लोग बाहर है, जो हमारे में जो बड़े बड़े लोग हैं 60 साल की ज्यादा उम्र वाले, वो लोग ठीक करने वाले थे, उन लोगों को ही वो ले गए।
आपको लगता है कि पुलिस रहेगी तो ठीक रहेगा?
नहीं, पुलिस नहीं रहेगी तब भी अब ठीक रहेगा।
There are those hoping faith prevails.
राम और रहमान तो एक जन, अल्लाह ने भगवान तो एक जन, फिर उसे तुम्हारे करने की क्या जरूरत है?
It's been 2 months, but that air of tension prevails in Undhela.
Both sides are apprehensive if and how that trust which has been broken will be repaired. But their only hope is that harmony returns to the small village so that they can resume their normal lives. With camera person Ravikant, Polami Saha in Undela, Kheda for India Today.
And of course, a reminder that this Friday at 9 p.m. we'll have elections on my plate as we look at the sights, sounds and flavors of an election in Gujarat. There you have the classic Gujarati Sethia Thali. Time to forget politics. बहुत अच्छा है. Kabristan, food among the dead. Gujaratis love the sweet.
चैलेंज अभी सुबह 12 बजे तक आप जनसभा कीजिए, खुद आइए. शाम को 4 बजे में उससे दुगनी ताकत में जनसभा खड़ी करूंगा.
Focus on the pineapple sandwich. Surya Kumar Yadav. I'm in the city of my birth, Janmabhoomi. Now, elections in this country require money, lot of money, particularly in states like Gujarat. Now, the Election Commission of India has revealed the data on contributions to political parties for the year 21-22. Not surprisingly, the BJP has got more than 75% of the amount, 614 crore rupees. Congress comes second at just 95 crores. Now, whether it's electoral bonds or cash donations, the BJP is well ahead of the rest. How does this all play out? We'll take a look in a moment. But first, this report.
The Bharatiya Janata Party is the richest political party in India when it comes to donations and is miles ahead of its nearest rival. Details submitted by political parties to the Election Commission on contributions received by them reveal the BJP received 614.53 crore rupees in the year 2021-22. This is 6 times more than the funds garnered by the opposition Congress, which got over 95 crore rupees. The Aam Aadmi Party received 44.54 crore during the financial year. The CPIM, which is in power in Kerala, received funds 10.5 crore rupees. The Trinamool Congress received 43 lakh rupees as contributions during the same period. In a recent report, the Association for Democratic Reforms had revealed the BJP is the favourite in electoral bonds too. Between 2017 to 18 and 2020 to 21, the BJP got 4,238 crore rupees. The Congress got 716 crore rupees. The Biju Janata Dal got 331 crore rupees. The Aam Aadmi Party got nearly 24 crore rupees. The opposition had demanded that donors through electoral bonds should be made public.
All this agenda-based, it's driven for political reasons, and now we see a real danger to Indian democracy because of this the one-sided funding issue.
With the BJP, the party in power, cornering a lion's chunk of donations, the opposition is claiming there is no level playing field. The question then is, should there be state funding of elections? Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's raise the big question. Does money power decide elections? Do we need a new system to ensure a level playing field? Is state funding the only solution? Joining me now, Dr. Rajdeep Chokar, founding member and trustee of the Association of Democratic Reforms, and Dr. S.Y. Qureshi, former Chief Election Commissioner. Let me come to you first, Dr. Qureshi. Do you believe that state funding is the only way? I look at the numbers both in the context of electoral bonds as well as now contributions through cash. One party gets over 80% of the funding. It doesn't make it a level playing field.
Yes, indeed. You know, that's what Dr. Chokar and I have been saying for a long time. Of course, Dr. Chokar prefers to call it public funding rather than state funding, and I agree with him. But I would say it's not a state funding of elections, but a state funding of political parties. Post-election, on the basis of their performance, on the basis of every vote they get, if we give them 100 rupees, that will work out to about 5,000, 6,000 crore rupees in after every election, which will be good enough for them to do their politics with. But correspondingly, there will be a total ban on corporate funding, which is actually the biggest problem today, because there is no free lunch. If the corporates give you a donation, they want free licenses, they want contract, and they even want bank loans with which they run away regularly. So therefore, I think public funding of political parties based on performance, 100 rupees per vote, is a very good formula, and it needs to be considered seriously.
But the fact is that that's an ideal world, Professor Chokar. The real world is that corporates across the world fund political parties. When the electoral bond scheme came, many hailed it because many said it's perhaps better than the scheme that existed before, where political parties simply got all their money in cash that was unaccounted for. So, I mean, are we really in any position to say that state public funding will actually eliminate all the other issues, whether it's corporate funding or whether it's cash donations?
Before we think of public funding or state funding, as people like to call it, although I, as Dr. Qureshi said, I call it public funding. Before we can even think of it, we must know how much money has actually been spent on the election by political parties and the candidates. That figure today is not known. Unless that figure is known, how do you plan how much money is needed? Dr. Qureshi has a very good formula, and I have no qualms with it. But I must say that before that formula is even thought about, the actual amount spent on elections should be known. Number two, there has to be, Dr. Qureshi said, there has to be a complete ban on corporate funding. I would say there has to be a complete ban on any other kind of funding. Because if political parties are given public money elections,
but how will it happen?
Just a minute.
No, Dr. Chokar.
It will not. That is my point, Rajdeep. It will not happen, and therefore, public funding or even public funding of political parties through the formula that Dr. Qureshi says is not practical at all, unless political parties are made to ensure in absolutely clear terms that they declare how much money that they receive from every single source and how they spend that money. Unless there is complete transparency of political parties, nothing will work. And let me add, in 2013, the Central Information Commission said that 6 national political parties are public authorities under the RTI Act. All the 6 parties have blatantly defied this order of the highest statutory authority in the country for the implementation of the RTI Act. And the case is lying in the Supreme Court since 2015. Now, unless we can make political parties transparent in their financial affairs, nothing will work. And electoral bonds, of course, are an icing on the cake, which have removed even a semblance of transparency that was there in the political process. We are very far away from
the flip. Because Dr. Qureshi, what you will probably need is a very strong election commission. An election commission that actually in some way evokes fear among political parties, that you have all these limits, these various limits of how much you can spend on an election, and most people believe those limits will never work, they are much too low. But every time they are crossed, every time there's brazen use of money power, the Election Commission needs to step in. You have been unable all these years to stop money power, and it appears nothing is changing.
Yes, Rajdeep, you're absolutely right. And as I have often said, that this is the only unsolved problem that Election Commission has. We have solved the problem of muscle power, all kinds of corruption and booth capturing, but this is the unsolved problem. And there are 2 things. One, of course, is what you suggested, the state funding of political parties. Second, I would say that there should be a cap on expenditure by political parties. There is a cap on individual expenditure by the candidates. Suppose for parliament it is 70 lakhs or whatever it is. But the party can spend 70 crores on him. So it makes a mockery of that
but who's keeping the
cap,
accounts?
and there has to be a
But who's
ceiling on
keeping the accounts?
expenditure. Yeah.
Who's keeping the accounts,
Yeah,
Dr. Qureshi? Who's keeping the accounts for all these large road
we
shows,
have
for
been
example, that we
demanding.
see?
Correct. Yeah, no, we have been demanding that it should be audited by not a party auditor, but an auditor from the panel to be given by the CAG, and all parties have been resisting it. So we would like the funds to be audited, and there should be a cap on political party spending. That is the main expenditure on the elections these days.
Okay, the question is, of course, how is it enforced?
No,
Professor Chokar, let me give you a final word. Yes, go ahead.
The limit on the expenditure by candidates is absolutely irrelevant, because 90 to 95% of the candidates say that they spend 50% of the limit. Therefore, the limits are absolutely irrelevant. Atal Bihari Vajpayee said long ago that every parliamentarian begins his parliamentary career with a lie about election expenditure. So when we are not able to enforce the limits on the candidates, what is the point in putting limits on the parties? I would say the limit for candidates should also be removed, so that we have no hypocrisy around.
Right.
But
at the end of the day, I wanted to know, how do you then ensure a level playing field? How do you ensure a level playing field if 75% of cash donations or 80% of electoral bonds are going to one party?
The only way to get anywhere near a level playing field is to make the complete financial affairs of political parties transparent, and be under the RTI. There is no other solution at all. And we are in the Supreme Court for this solution for 7 years.
Okay, you're saying you're going to have to give citizens the right to use the right to information to put political parties possibly on notice. I appreciate both Professor Chokar and Dr. Qureshi for joining me on that extremely important issue at election time. Let me turn from there to another of our newsmakers today, because a big showdown is brewing in Telangana. Day by day, a battle between the ruling TRS and the YSR Telangana party. And it's seen the emergence of a new leader. Jagan Mohan Reddy's sister, Y. Sharmila, is the one who has laid siege to Chief Minister KCR's residence. Her car was towed away, she was arrested and given bail. A defiant Y. Sharmila is now saying she will go ahead with her Padayatra and will continue to challenge the Telangana government. The Andhra Chief Minister's sister has been charged with unlawful assembly, intent to breach security, rash, negligent driving, clashes erupting between TRS and YSR workers after the latter's party bus was set ablaze. Not just Y. Sharmila, even her mother, Vijay Amma, placed under house arrest in the aftermath of that showdown. Joining us now, Y. Sharmila, YSR TP chief, joins us. You're making all the headlines at the moment there in Telangana. Give us a sense. What is this? Is this all building up to elections in Telangana next year? Are you trying to occupy some political space in Telangana?
All I'm trying to do, can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Desai?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Please go ahead. Yes, please go ahead.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So
yes, I can, ma'am.
All I'm trying to do is to throw light. All I'm trying to do is to throw light on the problems of the people of Telangana. While Mr. KCR claims that the people of Telangana live in a state of bliss, that his rule is the best, the contrary is true. While the people suffer because he did not keep up the promises he made, I am the one who is doing a Padayatra of 3,500 kilometers just to throw light on the problems of the people of Telangana and also to highlight the corruption in Telangana. In order to...
No, you're saying that, but you're doing this just 1 year before an election.
Well, we launched a party only 1 year ago. So there is no way we could have done this any time before. This is not about elections. It's about standing by the people of Telangana. It is not about elections at all, because the people of Telangana have been suffering under the misrule, under the tyranny of KCR, Mr. KCR, since 8.5 years. He made a lot of promises like loan waivers to the farmers, like interest-free loan to women, like double bedroom homes for the poor. He made a lot of promises and was unable to fulfill any one of them. So my whole agenda of this Padayatra was to highlight all these issues. And in the process of this, while we have completed 3,500 kilometers, nowhere has it gotten so ugly as it got recently. Because in every constituency we went, we have faced oppositions, they have toned down our flexis, they have done all kinds of things. Yes, but it got really ugly. It went to the heights of their wickedness when they actually burnt down my bus that was meant for my night halt during the Padayatra. They broke down the windshields of many vehicles that we use. They actually almost ran over our people with their vehicles. They beat our people with rods, sticks, and yeah, they acted really, really wickedly, and they created a law and order situation, and then making an excuse of the law and order situation, they said they were arresting me. My question was simple: why are you arresting me? Since the beginning of the day you have been telling me to halt my Padayatra, the police has been telling that, then why didn't you take the culprits under control since the morning itself? You let them free in the morning, you let them free in the afternoon, and then in the evening when they actually literally attacked us, that's when you say that there is a law and order problem and you have to arrest me for that. How fair is that? So my only intention was to parade these vehicles that already... Yes,
ma'am,
Mr.
the
Desai,
question which is being asked is that it is being suggested that you are a proxy for the BJP. The BJP is trying to gherao the TRS government in Telangana, and you are batting for the BJP.
That is absolutely untrue. It was the TRS party that was working in alliance with the BJP all these years. My question to the BJP itself is that when the BJP party knows that there is corruption in Kaleshwaram, KCR's Kaleshwaram project, which is the biggest scam of India, which involves money siphoned off to the extent of 70,000 crores of rupees, when the BJP ministers themselves come to our state and say that KCR is using Kaleshwaram as his ATM, when you know that there is so much of corruption in Kaleshwaram against KCR, then why is BJP not commissioning an inquiry? If BJP is not working hand in glove with KCR behind, if you are two not together, why aren't you commissioning an inquiry into KCR's corruption? BJP has to answer this. I am in no way concerned or connected to BJP or the Congress or to TRS.
Are you connected in any way to your brother anymore? Does Jagan Reddy approve of what you're doing, or is it now Sharmila and her mother focusing on Telangana, even as Jagan has appointed himself virtually chairman for life of the YSRCP?
What he does with his party in his state is totally up to him. I have launched this party in the name of my father, the late Chief Minister, Dr. Y.S. Rajshekhar Reddy, the tall leader, and this party bears the name of Telangana in it. It is called the YSR Telangana Party. I serve the people of Telangana alone. This is in no way connected to any other party whatsoever.
Okay, so you're saying what you're doing is your own independent line that you're pursuing, and presumably you will continue to carry this battle forward into next year, because that's when Telangana goes to the polls. A new face emerging there in Indian politics. Y. Sharmila Reddy, appreciate your joining me there from Hyderabad. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, let's take a break at this point. When we return, we are turning to our Get Real India story and also our Good News Today story, which comes from Betul in Madhya Pradesh. You're watching the News Today. News without the noise.
भैया जी हमला। भैया जी 10 गोलियां ले ले।
गोलियां नहीं रज्जा, गोली।
पर बाहर तो 10 लोग हैं।
10 हो या पूरी बस, अब तो बस 1 है तो डन है। इसको कोई वॉच कराओ। जब वॉचो मिले ढेर सारे OTT ऐप्स एक ही प्लान में तो हर कोई बोलेगा वॉचो 1 है तो डन है।
वॉचो प्लान स्टार्टिंग एट जस्ट 42 रुपीज पर मंथ। आज ही सब्सक्राइब करें और पाएं सिलेक्ट प्लान्स पर 1 महीना कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री।
Armed with facts, she takes the news by its horns.
Do you think the future of these students are not hampered?
Fierce, bold, and direct, setting the tone for the biggest stories from every corner and every angle. Expect nothing but the unfiltered truth.
News first, niceties later. Watch me, Nabila Jamal, on India Today.
Everyone's busy finding what's trending. You're busy finding out why. India Today, for those who research before reacting. Download the India Today app now.
Welcome back. Let's turn to tonight's Get Real India story, which comes from Akola in Maharashtra, where the farmers have been suffering heavy losses because of excessive rainfall. That crop damage was to be compensated. But what have the farmers found? The insurance companies have only fooled them. They haven't got the damages for their crops which were allegedly insured, and they've been offered compensation far below the premium they had paid. Tonight's Get Real India story from Akola.
Farmers are often blamed for not insuring their crop to keep themselves immune to vagaries of nature. As it turns out, even taking insurance may not help much, as farmers in Akola are finding to their horror. For instance, Prabhakar Ghogare, a farmer in this Maharashtra district, got a princely sum of 90.72 paise. This after excess rainfall damaged his crop.
मैंने साल में 2022 में सोयाबीन और तुअर का बीमा निकाला था, 844 रुपये प्रीमियम भरा था। उसके मेरे को 90 रुपये 72 पैसे का मैसेज आया और डॉक्यूमेंट वो इंश्योरेंस निकालने को मेरे को 844 रुपये लग गए और 150 रुपये 7/8 के और वो पूर्ण डॉक्यूमेंट के लग गए और मेरे को 90 रुपये 72 रुपये का मैसेज आ गया।
Many of the farmers are being given such measly amounts. They are wondering why they took crop insurance.
मैंने 1672 रुपये प्रीमियम भरा था। उस कागज पत्रों को 150 रुपये और पेट्रोल को जाने आने को 50 रुपये लगे। ऐसे 2000 मेरे पास के गए उस टाइम में और 360 रुपये है। 360 में होता क्या है और मैंने तो ऐसा ठहराया।
These amounts have been deposited by the insurance companies after a survey of the damaged crop.
मेरा लाखों का खर्च हो गया, नुकसान हो गया और 155 रुपये बीमा कंपनी वाले को मेरे को दे दिया। 155 रुपये में क्या होता? काढावं लागते, बँक पासबुक झेरॉक्स, आधार कार्ड झेरॉक्स आणि तिथं आपलं.
The farmers are angry. The insurance schemes have failed them miserably. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's turn to our good news today story, which comes from Betul in Madhya Pradesh, where a social worker has designed a new teaching method which is being praised by students and teachers. It is a multiplication table in the form of a tribal folk and song dance that is attracting the students. It's our good news today story.
This is the government secondary school in Betul's Kelapur village. And this is a new method of teaching designed by social worker Rajesh Sariyam. The children are learning multiplication tables presented in the form of a tribal folk song. Teachers say the song and the dance routine make studies more interesting for kids.
मैंने सोचा क्यों ना बच्चे लोगों के लिए हम लोग एक आदिवासी धुन के ऊपर पहाड़ बनाएं ताकि बच्चे बगैर मानसिक तनाव के झूमकर नाचकर पहाड़ याद कर सकें और साथ ही साथ सभी शिक्षकों का इसके अंदर बहुत अच्छा सहयोग मिल रहा है।
इसमें हमको सरियाम जी का एक और अच्छा वो मिला, उससे हमने बच्चों को बहुत अच्छे पहाड़े सिखाने की योजना बनाई और इस योजना के आधार पर बच्चों ने बहुत अच्छे 10 तक पहाड़े बनाए।
Students also appreciate the novel teaching method.
पहले हम पहाड़े भूल जाते थे, अभी मोबाइल के अनुसार डांस कर कर पहाड़े याद कर लेते हैं।
याद हो जा रहा है?
यस सर।
Learning is fun is a catch line often used by schools. And at the Kelapur Government School, learning is quite literally fun. Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, that's it on our show tonight. Remember, we're here in Ahmedabad right through this week. On Friday night, elections on my plate. Bon appetit. See you. Good night. Stay well. Shubhratri. There you have the classic Gujarati Sethiya Thali. Time to forget politics. बहुत अच्छा है. Kabristan, food among the dead. Gujaratis love the sweet.
चैलेंज अभी सुबह 12 बजे तक आप जनसभा कीजिए, खुद आइए। शाम को 4 बजे में उससे दुगनी ताकत में जनसभा खड़ी करूंगा।
Focus on the pineapple sandwich. Surya Kumar Yadav. I'm in the city of my birth, Janmabhoomi.
Dhanush's upcoming trilingual film with director Sekhar Kamula was launched in Hyderabad. The project was commenced with a customary puja with the producers in attendance. The makers are planning to shoot and release the film simultaneously in Tamil, Telugu and Hindi. Dhanush was last seen in director Selva Raghavan's Nani Varuvan, which was released recently, and now the actor will be seen in director Venki Atluri's bilingual film Vathi, which is all set to roll out in theatres next year.
Educational Institute la junior teacher.
He also has Captain Miller and Ira Thill Oruvun 2 in pipeline. Superstar Rajnikant's celebrated film Baba is all set to re-release in theatres on his birthday. Ahead of the same, the makers decided to add some new scenes to the film, and in fact, the actor has already completed dubbing for it, and his pictures are going viral on social media. Interestingly, Rajnikant not only played the lead role in the film, but also produced it. The cast included Manisha Koirala and Ashish Vidyarthi, among others, while Prabhu Deva, Ramya Krishnan, Sarth Babu and Raghav Lawrence are some of the actors who did a cameo in the film. As far as Rajnikant's other projects are concerned, he is currently busy shooting for Jailer with filmmaker Nelson Dilip Kumar. Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
What about, and you spoke about it, I just want to take that point forward, short term versus long term. Ideally, from a policy planning point of view and to encourage savings and wealth creation, I believe government has that objective also to look forward to. A time-related differential may be argued against. For many years, it's been argued for. Do you think this time differential should go?
The whole idea of the time was kept because you wanted to differentiate between an investor and a speculator. So somebody who's coming into the market and doing a small trade and then moving out. He gives liquidity to the market. He's a very important player in the market. But at the same time, whether he should be getting the same benefits or not is something which a decision needs to be taken. So I would say that while you are framing your policy, you can bring in new concepts, but this is generally the concept that is there in the capital gains where you try and differentiate. For example, last year I recall the housing market had come to me and said that for houses also we should have the long-term capital gains kicking in after 12 months. And my simple question to them was that do we purchase houses to keep them for a year and then sell them off? So suddenly there was a silence in the room. Mm-hmm. So I would say you have to keep all these aspects, and what you say is right. I need these players who come for very short while, especially in the financial market and the equity market, because they provide liquidity. But I also want people for the long term because they give stability to returns, they give stability to the market. So how do I incentivize is a decision we need to take. But at this point of time, I think rather than going whole stock and barrel and rethinking or reinventing the wheel, if we can take certain things for given and then make changes so that it is simple to implement, simple to understand, and people invest because the product is good or product is not as good, but not because there's a tax advantage.
Presented by धूल आए पर घर पे ना टिक पाए.
Co-powered by SABIC, chemistry that matters. Co-powered by ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel India. LIC, हर पल आपके साथ. Raymond Techno, unrestrict yourself.
Protests in Xinjiang over lockdown starvation. Protests in Wuhan over blackout and power theft. Protests in Guizhou over quarantine facility deaths. Protests against food and milk shortages in parts of China.
Xi Jinping! Stand down! Xi Jinping!
Protests against President Xi Jinping escalate in China. Will the revolt lead to a revolution? That's our top focus on India First.
Starvation deaths have been reported. No milk, no bread, no rice, even for children. And this too has led to protests in parts of China. Acute power shortage for students at Wuhan. Reports of corruption. Now, over the course of the next half hour, we get you a detailed India Today exclusive report. I'm Gaurav Sawant. As always, let's get started with the headlines on India First. Political blockbuster in Gujarat. Heavyweights campaign for phase 2. Less than 12 hours to go for voting for phase 1. Three-way battle on BJP's home turf. Enforcement Directorate's big charge against Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister in the liquor excise investigations. Manish Sisodia and aides accused of destroying